As we prepare to welcome you back to campus, we wanted to review a number of important safety-related items that have been put into place to protect you and those around you. Please watch this presentation, then let your supervisor know that you've completed the training. Be prepared for them to ask you a question or two as they do their job to ensure that you are prepared to return to a new work environment. During today's presentation, we will review some important topics like what are our responsibilities from a CU and safe worker perspective, the use of disposable and cloth masks, the use of gloves and respirators for occupational purposes, disinfection of tools, vehicles, and work areas, facilities management guidance on vehicle use, coming to work, staggered staffing, use of work areas, meetings, as well as recommendations for staying safe at home. All employees will have a face covering or mask with them and ready for use in case of interaction with other employees, students, or the public. Wear a face covering or mask when entering or working in any building on campus. When working outside, when you may come in contact with or are not able to maintain a physical distance of 6 feet from other individuals. The term masks in our presentation refers to a cloth or disposable mask in most cases. Please ask your supervisor if you have any questions regarding masks or PPE. Discretion can be used in private offices or if working outdoors. Remember to err on the side of caution. Wear a mask if you anticipate possible interaction with other employees, students, or the public. Areas where contact with someone else is potentially unavoidable may include hallways, restrooms, break rooms, or shared workspaces. Although masks are required on campus, please remember cloth face coverings are not personal protective equipment, and they are not an appropriate substitute for PPE when respirators or other face masks are recommended or required to protect the wearer. When PPE is required, use the appropriate occupational respirator. PPE is required when contact is expected with things like dust and debris, chemical vapors, metal fumes, gases, grass clippings, dirt, or wood chips. Keep in mind that cloth and disposable masks protect the public from the wearer. They are between 20 and 60% effective at containing aerosol particles. The best masks will have multiple layers of fabric, cotton and synthetic. Masks should always fit over the nose and mouth snugly and comfortably on both sides of the face, but not tightly. The mask should allow for breathing without restriction. Disposable and clean cloth masks are for one-day use only. Some masks may be washed, but only until fabric is compromised. Do not wear the same unwashed mask back to back. Launder in hot water with a high temp drying cycle. Do not use a mask if it is wet. Masks should be replaced as needed to ensure a clean, safe mask. Speak with your supervisor to obtain a new mask when needed. Other things to keep in mind are masks are more effective without facial hair. Always handle your mask as little as possible to prevent contamination. Wash your hands before donning any type of mask. Do not touch the inside or outside of a mask after donned. Wash hands before and after doffing a mask. And do not touch someone else's mask. The use of gloves is optional outside of tasks where PPE is required. When donning, working with, or doffing gloves, do not touch your face. Before donning gloves, wash your hands up to your wrists. Then put your gloves on. Gloves may be removed with your bare hands. When removing, pull off gloves so they flip inside out as you remove them. Dispose of gloves in the trash. Do not recycle or compost them. Wash hands with soap and water up to the wrists to remove toxins. N95s have historically been available for use on a voluntary basis for many tasks across facilities management. Please remember, N95s are in limited supply and should be under supervisor or work planner control at all times. Do not hang an N95 when it is not in use. Tasks approved for voluntary N95 use are removal and replacement of filters, dusting, sweeping, and cleaning of areas with metal debris, dust, and where there is a high content of allergens, for native area landscaping, and for cleanup of transient camps. Tasks not on the list above must be approved by the Facilities Management Safety Officer. N95s are not designed for chemical vapor filtration. Voluntary wearers of N95s to alleviate chemical odor will be placed at a low priority to ensure those who need them to filter toxins have a supply available. N95s serve a different purpose than cloth masks, and due to a limited supply of N95s, please keep the following in mind. N95s are not a substitute for a cloth mask and should not be used as a substitute at any time. N95s are for a specific task and should only be used for the required task. Do not plan to pick them up early. Dispose of an N95 and don a cloth mask at the completion of your task. Donning and wearing of masks and respirators. Remember to wash your hands before touching the mask to put it on. Avoid touching the inside or outside of the mask. When putting the mask on, do not touch the inside. While you are wearing the mask, do not touch the outside. Avoid touching your face at all times. When needing to remove a mask or respirator that you will need to don again, for example at lunch, during breaks, or when switching to or from an N95, please remember the following. Handle the mask as little as possible. Be sure to wash your hands before and after removing the mask. And retain a social distance of 6 feet. When removing a respirator, store it upside down on a clean surface. This prevents hazardous air in the area from reaching the inside where you will need to breathe again shortly. If you are placing it in a bag, be sure the bag is sitting on a flat surface with the outside of the mask facing up. Keep the center protected from the surface of the bag, which may be contaminated. Do not hang a respirator on your belt or other surface. Remember to wash your hands to remove any toxins before you remove the mask or respirator. Then, wash your hands again after removing. When using an N95, dispose of it immediately after the task is complete and don a cloth or disposable daily use mask. When preparing to leave for the day, disposable masks should be placed in the trash and cloth masks taken home and laundered. Remember to wash cloth masks in hot water and machine dry on a hot temperature each night to prepare for use the next day. Environmental health and safety can help us clarify this process. Here's a short video.
Hi, this is Derek Hayes from Environmental Health and Safety. I'm the Occupational Safety Manager here on campus, and this is a brief video to show people the proper way to don and doff a cloth mask, which is going to be required on campus, as it's also an order come down from the governor. So we're all going to be required to wear a cloth mask or disposable. I'll show that real quickly as well. First thing we're going to do before putting them on, wash your hands or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure we're not infecting ourselves. And when donning and doffing the masks, we want to make sure that we're not touching the masks or minimizing that contact and minimizing contact of the mask with our clothing or ourselves. So what I've done here, this cloth mask, this is a homemade one, is I've tied a loop around the top that fits my head. You can do that before you put it on. And what you want to do is you make sure that the top of the mask has the nasal bridge wire there to make sure that the fit is snug around your nose to keep anything from getting out. And then what I like to do is pull that on over my head, and then just take the back straps and I just tie them behind my neck like so, and just make sure that the mask is, like we said, has the wire over the nasal bridge is tight, and you have a good seal. That's it. So now I'm protecting other people from myself if I'm an asymptomatic carrier. Now to take this off at the end of your shift, or if you're going to lunch or something like that, again, we want to avoid touching the mask or touching our face. So what I like to do is grab the back strap, pull that up, and then just untie the back, and it comes right off. So if I'm going to lunch or something, I can hang this somewhere. I can keep it away from things that it may touch. Be aware of it. Consider it to be potentially infectious because of you. If my my shift is over, I can throw this in a pillowcase or a laundry bag or something, a hot launder, and this will be ready to go for tomorrow. And when I'm done with that, again, more hand sanitizer. This is a hand sanitizer from a local Boulder distillery called Snow Sand, and it smells a lot like gin, believe it or not. Just real quick, a disposable mask, one of these. Again, it's going to have that nose bridge wire. I just hold it by its elastics, get it on my face, put those around my ears, make sure the nose bridge is nice and snug over that, pull that down, and I'm ready to go. And once again, when I'm done with this, I want to avoid touching the mask itself or touching my face. I just grab those elastics and remove. Thanks.
There are a number of different disinfecting solutions available. Shops and industrial work centers can continue to use existing supplies for disinfection. This applies to those within a trades area located in the stadium, inside the East, Main Campus, and Williams Village powerhouses, in the distribution center, at the ground's satellite locations, the Grok industrial shops, and the recycling center. Lemon DC must be used in all other areas. If you relocate from a shop or industrial work center to another area, you must use Lemon DC. Dispose of Lemon DC in sinks. For all other solutions, use the instructions previously provided or contact the facilities management safety officer. Keep in mind that hazard communication requires secondary containers to be labeled properly. Lemon DC is a toxic chemical. When mixing Lemon DC or any other disinfectant, be sure to label the container you are storing the solution in properly. Each bottle must be labeled with the month, day, year, and chemical name. Be sure to update the label each time the contents are remixed. This is a mandatory process. No exceptions will be made to this requirement. The chemical mixture for a large container of Lemon DC would be 1 gallon of water to 2 ounces of Lemon DC concentrate. 2 ounces of concentrate is equivalent to 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup. For a smaller container, a 1/2 gallon of water would be mixed with 1 ounce of Lemon DC concentrate. 1 ounce is equivalent to 2 tablespoons or 1/8 cup. After mixing, wait 10 minutes to use. Label the container properly, and remember that the mixture will last for 2 days. Be sure to disinfect the exterior of the container as you remix. When using a pre-mixed spray, follow the expiration date on the container. Lemon DC is stocked by the distribution center and ordered through Famous. When possible, please submit a stock part issue request to ensure the distribution center can monitor supply and demand. Use part number P8106 when ordering. CU Boulder has approved the following supplies to be used for disinfection: the disinfectant approved for your work area, properly labeled if it was mixed from a concentrate. Use only paper towel to clean, then dispose of the towel. Do not use cloth, even if you had planned to wash it. Paper towel is the only approved option for disinfecting. Latex or nitrile gloves resist toxins. Please use these types of gloves for disinfecting. When disinfecting, always follow these steps. Look at the surface. If it is treated with something that will degrade or corrode, or when working with electronics or other sensitive surfaces, do not spray the disinfectant directly on the surface. Spray the disinfectant on the paper towel and then wipe the surface. Paint, leather, and electronics would be examples of items that fall into this category. For other surfaces, like doors, windows, and countertops, spray the disinfectant onto the area where contact will be made and wipe off. Tools are defined as hand tools, shop instruments, lawnmowers, blowers, ladders, and etc. Review the surface. If there's a treated area or an area that will corrode, be sure to spray the towel and then wipe the surface. Examples of this type of surface include rubber grips and metal handles. Spray directly onto other surfaces, such as flanges, pulleys, or steps. Then wait 10 minutes before using. Do not spray disinfectant directly on tools with rubber grips on the handles or treated surfaces that may corrode. For example, the rubber grips on these types of tools. Spray the paper towel and wipe. Again, wait 10 minutes before using. Here, it is okay to spray directly onto the counter surface to disinfect around the tool. However, you would want to spray the paper towel and wipe to disinfect the handles. As always, wait before using. When disinfecting things like this forklift, you will again want to review for treated surfaces, like rubber or things that will corrode. For these types of surfaces, spray the paper towel and wipe. For example, the selector buttons and gears, the gear shifters, the steering wheel, and the hand grip handles on the frame. You can spray directly onto other surfaces, such as seats, headrests, and the dashboard. Then, wipe and wait 10 minutes. Here, we would spray and wipe the steering wheel and the grip handles on the frame. But we could spray the seat, the dash area, and the cup holders directly, then wipe with a paper towel. Wait 10 minutes to use. This golf cart is similar to the forklift. Spray a paper towel and wipe to disinfect surfaces, such as the starting knob and the steering wheel. We can spray the seat, the cup holders, and the dashboard directly, then wipe with a paper towel. Wait 10 minutes before using. For trucks, Kubotas, and automobiles, spray a paper towel and wipe to disinfect surfaces such as the selector buttons, the seat belt buckles, steering wheel, gear shifter, and radio knobs. Spray directly on door handles, inside and out, as well as the seats and headrests if the disinfectant being used will not damage them. Wait 10 minutes before using the vehicle. Work areas are defined as offices, break rooms, shared open desk areas, and phones. Review the surface. If there is an area that will corrode, be sure to spray the towel and wipe. This includes surfaces like keyboards, phones, and computer mice. Spray directly onto other surfaces such as tabletops or chairs. Wait 10 minutes before using. If possible, do not share phones, keyboards, or other devices with coworkers. If you must share, use these items sparingly to cut down on the need for daily disinfection. Here's Derek with EH&S with a video overview.
Hi, this is a quick refresher training on the CDC guidelines for cleaning of hard surfaces in order to prevent the spread and to affect the decontamination of surfaces for the COVID-19 virus. So the first thing we're going to do is wear our appropriate PPE, typically consisting of latex or nitrile gloves and possibly some safety glasses. The first thing we're going to do is remove any gross contamination, that is visible dirt and or grease. To make sure that that's gone, we're going to use a soap and water solution, or any available cleaning solution would be appropriate in this case. At this point, we're going to apply the disinfectant. You can talk to your supervisor about that. All the disinfectants we have on campus are going to be adequate for COVID-19, and you want to allow a 10-minute contact time. Once that has occurred, a finish with a water wipe is a great idea. It's not 100% necessary, but it's a really good idea, especially if you are in an area where food prep might be happening, or there may be contact with food. Now for vehicles, we recommend before and after using a vehicle, you take some disinfecting wipes, again using proper PPE, get in the vehicle and wipe down all the areas that would be receiving the most contact. Steering wheels, gear shifters, if there's radios, climate control knobs, things like that, and just give everything a good wipe down before and after you use the vehicle. That way, if someone else gets into it, it's already been decontaminated and disinfected. And we do have the 1 person per vehicle rule on campus going into effect. So contact the H&S or your supervisor, and thank you very much for your time.
When using a CU vehicle, limit vehicle operation to 1 person per vehicle. If more than 1 person must be in a vehicle, everyone must wear a cloth mask. Limit travel distances for vehicles with multiple passengers. Contractors on campus are aware of and should be following campus mask wear guidance. Do not come into work if exhibiting COVID-19 symptoms like coughing, sore throat, or high temperature. Alert your supervisor immediately if you begin experiencing symptoms while you are at work. Stagger shifts when possible to reduce contact upon arrival, breaks, and when leaving each day. Avoid shared office spaces, elevators, and other confined spaces where people are present. Perform duties as independently as feasible, and continue virtual meetings as much as possible. Minimize to groups of 10 or less with strict social distancing and mask guidelines if you cannot meet virtually. Bring a change of shoes to work and leave your work shoes at work to help protect those at home. Minimize wear of work clothes at home. Isolate and wash them in the warmest possible water and then machine dry. For your cloth masks, wash them daily in the hottest possible water and then machine dry. Monitor the integrity of the cloth and replace the mask when it begins to deteriorate. Look for things like fraying of the cloth, loss of integrity in the stitching, or the mask falling apart. Thank you for taking time to complete this training. We appreciate your investment in your own safety and the safety of those around you. Have an awesome day, and be sure to let your supervisor know that you have completed this training.